Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. As you can see, my hair is supposed to be blonde. It isn't. It's kind of ginger, but good thing I can cover that up with a beanie. Get it? Because we're going to embroider some beanies today. So to be perfectly honest, I kind of like the way how my hair turned out. I kind of like the fact that it's not 100% blonde. But I'm getting off topic here. Today we're going to embroider some beanies, and for that you're going to need
an embroidery hoop, a needle, some embroidery cotton, and some beanies. You obviously don't need that many beanies. I just had some lying around. I'm not going to embroider all of them. I'm just going to embroider 3. But anyway, let's start off with the first one. I haven't done this before, so I'm going to start easy by just embroidering some letters. For this, I'm using this white beanie, and I like my beanies rolled up twice, so I'm rolling it up how I like it, and then I'm just using a pencil to mark out where I want the letters to go. So whilst doing this, I realised that this is not the most effective method because you can't really write or draw on this kind of fabric. I just kept on going with it anyways, but for the next 2 beanies, I'm going to do it differently. So when I'm done sketching out my design, I'm going to put the beanie into the embroidery hoop and I'm ready to start embroidering. Quick info, this embroidery hoop may be a little bit big for embroidering beanies, but it's the only one I have, so I just used it. So I'm starting off by doing a straight stitch along the lines I sketched onto the beanie. These don't have to be 100% perfect because they're just a help for you to see where you want your design to be, and we're going to embroider over them later anyways. I'm using black embroidery cotton here. The one I use is made up out of 6 different strings. I found that one nice and thick and easy to work with. So once I'm done tracing all the letters, I'm going in with the black cotton again, but this time stitching across the straight stitches I've made before. Okay, you got me. I practiced on the S before filming this sequence because I just want to make sure it really worked. I'm just going over them back and forth, and this creates a nice thick line, which is exactly what we want. I'm continuing like this for the rest of the design, and that's basically your first embroidered beanie. Done. Okay, let's move on to beanie number 2. For this one, I'm using this pink beanie, and I've drawn a little kind of balaclava logo, which I'm going to embroider onto this one. This time, I'm not going to draw my design onto the beanie because that obviously didn't work out the first time. Instead, I've drawn my design onto a piece of paper, which I'm going to pin onto the beanie. After I pinned it right where I want it to be, I'm going to unfold the beanie and put it into the embroidery hoop. Then I'm going to trace the outlines of my design with the straight stitch, going right through the paper and right through the beanie. This step can be a little bit tricky, but I would advise you to use thin paper and just be a little bit careful. Again, these stitches don't have to be 100% perfect, they're just for you to help you see where you want your design to be. When you're done tracing all the outlines of your design, you can start carefully removing the paper. And ta-da! They are the outlines of your design on your beanie. That was easy, wasn't it? So next you're going to fill out your design. You're going to do that by stitching from one end of the design to the other. But make sure to stitch over the outlines so you can't see them anymore when you're done. Also, when the outlines of your design came out a little bit wonky, now is your chance to correct that. Because the fabric of the beanie is elastic, you should be able to pull different parts of your design into different directions. But don't pull them too much in one direction because then the fabric will stretch too much and it will end up looking weird. When you're done filling up your design, you can add some outlines afterwards. Just straight stitch around your design and that's it. That's your second embroidered beanie done. So let's move on to the final beanie, beanie number 3. With this one I felt a little bit more adventurous, and since I've practiced on 2 beanies beforehand, I thought I should be able to make a more intricate design. So I chose one of my recent Axe Gang designs. By the way, if you're not following Axe Gang on Instagram, do it now. Our name is just Axe Gang. Anyways, I'm using the same technique as with the second beanie to transfer my design onto the fabric. I'm just pinning my design onto the beanie and then tracing the outlines with some straight stitches. Afterwards, I'm filling out my design, just some straight stitches going from one side of the design to the other, stitching over the outlines, you know the deal. Afterwards, I'm going in with a darker shade of this kind of flesh color to add some details to the hand and obviously the fingernails. Then, because obviously these hands got chopped off, I'm adding some blood on the wrists, letting it drop down the hand, which also helps securing some of these loose stitches on there. But then I felt like the fingernails weren't popping enough, so I restitched them with some bright pink cotton. By the way, that wasn't the greatest idea because stitching over stitches you made before is really difficult, and I had to use some pliers to get my needle through there. Was it worth it? I don't know. Anyways, afterwards I'm adding some black outlines with some straight stitches again. And that's the third beanie done. So, how did they turn out? I'd say they are pretty nice. I like them. But don't just listen to me, definitely go and try it yourselves.
And that's all I have for you today, guys. I know not all of the beanies are 100% perfect, but I really like how they turn out, and you can really see that they're handmade. That's what I like about them. I would strongly advise you to try this at home as well, even though it's a little bit of a kerfuffle working with elastic fabrics. So if you haven't embroidered anything else before, maybe try it on some non-elastic fabric first, and once you got the hang of it, make yourself one of these. Nonetheless, it's a lot of fun, and you should definitely try it yourselves. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope I've inspired you with this video. If I did so, why not give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, because I make new videos every week. That's it from me for now, and I'll see you later. Bye.